top focus at this hour. Now, this is, remember, pertaining to a very strong global update. A strong earthquake of magnitude 6.9 shook southeastern part of Taiwan, and the officials have confirmed that the epicenter of the earthquake was Taitung country, now a sparsely populated part of the island. Taiwan has activated its Central Emergency Operations Center following the development. The Taiwanese residents have been asked to stay alert to avoid the potential aftershocks. Meanwhile, Japan's meteorological agency has retracted a tsunami warning that it had issued following the earthquake in Taiwan. So these are the visuals on your screens from the earthquake hit area in Taiwan. Remember, earthquake reported in southeastern part of Taiwan. Tremors of 6.9 magnitude recorded. And in fact, Japan too had, remember, issued a tsunami warning. However, it has retracted the alert. And now, in fact, on this note, let's cut across to Mr. Dr. Anil Gupta, environment expert, who's joining us live to share his perspective on this. Sir, a very, very good afternoon to you, and thank you for your time to Mirror Now. Now, I want to begin here by asking you that, do you think, when we talk of natural calamities, especially earthquake, tsunami, somewhere this is more or less a result of rapid industrialization followed by climate change that the world is witnessing at the moment?
Thank you for taking up this very important discussion. And yes, we agree that this is a major disaster that has hit the region. But climate change, though, is considered as one of the important contributor to disaster risk and vulnerability, more particularly in developing areas. But earthquakes are not yet directly related with the implications of climate change. But on the other hand, the changes that we are bringing in our land use, our designs of the buildings, I think these are very important components in disaster related with the earthquake. As in case of earthquake, we often say that it is not the earthquake that kills, it is the building that kills. So this is a very important lesson that the material and design of building is one of the key contributor. And another aspect is about early warning. So for most of the other disasters like floods, drought, cyclone, we have much better early warning systems. But when it comes to earthquake, we are yet to come up with an effective early warning system. So that is very important thing. Second aspect is that this earthquake was also, it followed a major tremor yesterday. So that also tells that most of the earthquakes that we are witnessing in past decade or so, most of the time there are series of tremors. So it is not one earthquake, but there are several earthquakes of similar or related intensities. So that tells that a lot of energy is already there beneath the earth, and that is creating this kind of havoc. So this is very important aspect.
Yeah, a very fair point, sir. Like you said, in fact, there's no direct study that, in fact, has pointed to the fact that earthquake is directly connected to climate change. However, the whole world right now is combating climate change, which continues to be a very big challenge. So, somewhere, do you feel that it is fair to term this as a man-made tragedy, keeping in mind how you just spoke of, massive construction and industrialization, like I also mentioned in my past question. The fact that currently it's not just India, but the whole world is witnessing massive industrialization and human development. So fair enough to call it a man-made tragedy.
Yes, I would agree with you because past 10 years or 15 years, most of the major disasters that we see, we have in fact stopped calling any disaster as a natural disaster, because natural may be just a factor, maybe a trigger or a contributor, but the disasters are taking place only because of the failure of human systems to design our development in a safer way. And second thing, we are on a very, very fast pace of infrastructure development, including in the countries like Taiwan, China also, India also, and even the smaller countries. The infrastructure development is on a very, very high pace of this thing. And see, when we are considering the design intent, how effectively we are considering the safety issues with reference to an anticipated level of earthquake. Even we are developing major infrastructure. For example, we are building dams, we are coming up with new airports, we are coming up with major housing complexes, big multi-storied buildings. And I think earthquake is something that can build, that can bring any major infrastructure to ground in few moments, if those are not built and with correct design as well as correct material. So that's very important, and that is a big alert to all the people who are not even affected in recent past by an earthquake.
All right, Mr. Anil Gupta, before I let you go, a very pertinent question that I want to ask you here, because at the end of the day, we are in India and, this is something that concerns us equally. How prepared is India, when it comes to these calamities, especially, here we're talking about earthquake and tsunami, and what all measures can be taken up in order to avert such tragedies?
See, the two aspects you touch, one is earthquake in general, and second is tsunami in particular. So tsunami, when we talk of tsunami, that is usually triggered by an earthquake. That is a oceanic earthquake, but that will hit primarily in coastal area and adjoining coast, the areas adjoining the coast. But earthquake, in fact, we have classified zone 1 to 5 our country, but now in fact we consider that any part of the country can be affected by earthquake, because there is a concept of epicenter, and then there are secondary impacts. So for example, if we talk of Delhi, if we talk of Mumbai, so Delhi itself is a zone 4. So that is very important, that the construction that is going on very, very fast in Delhi, and not only Delhi, in many other the cities of the northeast, many of the northeast parts of the country are under zone 5. That is a very high level of seismicity risk. So that is a kind of a very important aspect, because development is coming very fast. Recently, I visited Ladakh. So the kind of development taking place, that is very prone to these kind of devastations, because we are not taking care. In many cases, the safety systems are not taken proper care, particularly design as well as the material.
All right, Dr. Anil Gupta, thank you so much for joining us with your views on this big story. Appreciate your time. All right, and now shifting tracks to back home. In a major crackdown, in fact, on the Popular Front of India, the National Investigation Agency is conducting raids in 38 locations, including 6 districts of Telangana, 2 districts of Andhra Pradesh. Now, the raids are being conducted in connection to the case registered against the PFI cadres in Nizamabad by the Telangana police on July 4. The NIA has recovered, remember, cash worth over rupees 8 lakhs during the raids. 4 people have been detained for questioning. So that's the latest that we're picking up in terms of the NIA raids that are underway in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Remember, in a massive crackdown on the Popular Front of India, the NIA is conducting raids in 38 locations in both the states, including 6 districts of Telangana and 2 districts of Andhra Pradesh. And remember that these raids are being conducted in connection to a case that was in fact already filed against the PFI cadres in Nizamabad on July 4. Now, the latest being that the NIA has seized a cash worth over 8 lakhs during the raids, and 4 people have already been detained for further interrogation. All right, on this note, it's time for us to slip into a very short break, but don't go anywhere, for we'll be back soon.